So today we're really deeply going to dive into the mind and the body and how they work, because something you will come to learn if you haven't already about human design is it is very body based. Even if you have a lunar authority as a reflector, you still listen to your body. You still have that cool, calm, clear, collected knowingness at the end, even if you're a mental projector, right? But we all have this body intelligence. And the crazy thing is that we oftentimes in human design forget to get our brain on board. Right? And so what happens is a lot of people start to intellectualize human design because the embodiment piece becomes scary because our brains are fighting us. Right? So I'm going to catch up on the comments. Hi, Lindsay. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. It's so good to see everybody. And so what we want to do is we want to get our brain to stop fighting with our body so we can actually listen to our strategy and authority. And this is something I see so often in the human design world, is that people don't actually ever get to the embodiment piece. They understand how their strategy and authority works. They may even understand their profile and their human design type, but as long as your brain is fighting with your body, you can't get to the place where you're quantum leaping from listening to your design, right? And this is so important. So the way this is going to work is today we're going to be getting our mind and body on the same page. We're going to be making sure that our mind is thinking supportive thoughts and knowing how to go into a space of trusting our desires, right? Because when we get into a space of trusting our desires, then we're able to align to our design because we know that it's all working, right? If our brain is screaming at us, this isn't working, this isn't going to work, you can't do that, and your body is saying something different, we live in a logic-based society. Right? Society has told us our whole lives, think from the mind. So when you start that battle of the mind and the body, when you're first trying to integrate your human design, or even very practiced in integrating your human design, what will happen is oftentimes the brain will win, right? And I've seen this so often with my clients. They know, because my clients are very practiced in following their authority and listening to their authority and following their strategy, is sometimes the brain will get in the way, right? Sometimes the brain will tell you like, oh, I'm not sure if this makes sense. This isn't following a logical path. And they will literally go against their authority and find out later on that like, oh, that really was my body, right? And so we want to avoid that, and we want to get into a space where even if that does happen, we have so much clarity afterwards. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Tomorrow, I'm so freaking excited about tomorrow, because what we're going to be diving into is actually the heart center, the ego center, the will center, right? And this is the center. This is the single most center that I work with within my work, within my clients' work, because this is the center of entrepreneurship. Whether you are defined or undefined in your will center will make a huge difference to how you are operating within your business. We're going to be talking about the shadows within this and how you can use your will center to not only get in touch with what you need to do in your brand, but also clearing the pieces that are almost working with your mind to prevent you from tapping into your authority, tapping into your human design. And so that's the second step. And then the third step, we're going to go into actually aligning to your profile. This is called high profile because we are looking to that end result, to align to our human design profiles, because what happens when we align to our human design profile is our aura expands, right? This is so powerful, because when you are operating out of alignment with your human design profile, you're not going to be using your natural strengths within your brand and in your business, and things are going to feel hard. Right? I see so many entrepreneurs feeling like things are super hard, like they're forcing, like they're pushing, like people aren't listening. And when you align to your profile, you're going to feel like people listen. You're going to feel like people want to be in your world. I want you guys to be so aligned to your profiles that people are like, oh my gosh, take my money, right? And I'm so excited. So that's why it builds off of this. Because if I were to just go into have a one-day masterclass on aligning to your profiles, would it serve you? Yeah, I think it would. But also, like this is going to serve you so much more, because your mind's not going to be fighting when it comes to the actual implementation. Your will center, whether it's defined or undefined, is going to be in full support of where you are going within your business. So, couple of housekeeping things to like get into your head. I don't want you guys to take notes. If you want to take notes, you are more than welcome to come back and watch the replay. But what I really want is for you to be present with me today, because we are going to be doing some hard work today. Ooh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And I really want you to pay attention to where your mind avoids going into these deep questions, right? Because your mind kind of wants to keep doing what it's been doing. Our brains are there to keep us safe, right? They don't want us to expand into a big business, because what if our friends judge us? What if we have a failed launch? What if? Right? And so the questions I'm going to be asking you today, I want you to be really here and participating with me. So your journal, your notes are going to be in the comments, right? Because this is going to be your way of being fully engaged in these questions. And I want you to answer the questions, right? I want you to think about it. I want there to be introspection, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting the practice of rewiring your brain to be in agreement with your body. So when you go to embody, lots of body words, when you go to embody your profile, you're there, right? You're not like having this battle of what if this doesn't work? What if? You know how to train your mind. So does that sound good? Everybody ready? I'm so excited. And also, if you are completely new to my world, I'd love to know. I love all of my OGs. I love when new people come in. So if you are new to my world, hi, I'm Christy Avis. I'm a human design coach, mindset coach, business and alignment coach, and I help women entrepreneurs step into what they desire, right? Like I'm not going to talk like 10K, 20K months. Like really it's about what you desire in a way that is with ease. Ease is the most important thing in my life, in my business, because I've been in burnout. And when we align to our human design, that's when quantum shit happens. I don't know if you guys saw the post that I posted in the group earlier. I want you all to know that 2 weeks ago, a year and 2 weeks ago, why is that so hard? A year and 2 weeks ago, I quit corporate America. It's only been a year, and I am making 13K plus cash months in my business. I've had a couple of 16K cash months, which is freaking phenomenal, and we are pushing up into my next expansion, which is going to be 20K months. And I know this is inevitable, and I am only available for this to feel good. There is no forcing, there is no pushing, and that's why human design is such an important piece of the work that I do, because I see so many people trying to force and push their way, and it's like, this gets to be easy, right? And there gets to be ease within our business, and our businesses get to be an extension of ourselves, of our alignment, and so that's what we're going to be doing in this masterclass. So I'm so happy that you are here. Hi, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. Hamali, is that how I say your name? Welcome. It's wonderful to have you here. Hi, Brittany, it's so good. Hi, Melissa. Oh, I already said hi to you, but I'm so excited that you guys are here. So, first off, I want to know, what are you guys tapping into? What are you tapping into right now? What is your goal? I want you to be very, not realistic, not logical within this goal, right? Because what can happen is we can say yes to a goal that feels okay. So let's say you're tapping into 5 or 10K months, but what really lights you up is 11K, right? Tap into the goal that really lights you up. Whether that's even a number, right? We could be having our one-on-one fully booked out. We could be tapping into having our businesses be easy and having enough time to raise a family at the same time. What is that goal that you are tapping into? When you speak your goals, it sends a very powerful signal out to the universe, right? When we're able to admit what we want, that is the first step, right? Because we're not going to be able to see what the brain is doing, what limiting beliefs are coming up if we're not even allowing ourselves to admit what we want, right? So we have to get into a space of like, this is what I desire, and I'm gonna put it out in front of all of you. I'm gonna put it out in front of the people, and I'm gonna say, this is what my heart desires. Because we're gonna talk a little bit about tapping into the frequency of the version of you who's already done it today. And you can't tap into that version if you aren't willing to admit to yourself what you really desire. And oftentimes what will happen is, if you're not really practiced in your mindset work and your human design embodiment work, is we could admit our desire, and then 3 seconds later, our brain's like, nope, not possible, not for you. You can't do that. You don't know enough. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting awareness of those thoughts that are running underneath the surface that are actually blocks to what we truly desire, right? So drop in the comments what you are desiring. Oh, no. I love that, Lindsay. Oh my gosh, no worries. You are present. Just contemplate on what your goals are. If you can't see your screen, I love that you are at the beach. That is wonderful. Abundance, freedom, and play. Melissa, I feel that so deeply. My brand, like if I am doing work for my clients and working and doing one-on-one calls, I'm not working more than 5 hours a day unless I really am lit up and doing things in my own business and creating art and expression. I want it to feel good. I am unavailable for burnout. I am unavailable for this to feel pushing and hard and to feel bad in between me hitting my goals, right? This is something that's really important, is we need to watch what energy we're in, because no matter where you're at, you're going to have a goal, right? And even when you get to the goal that you think is the end all be all, you will have another goal. And something I've talked to my clients a lot about is as we get into the energy that I'm going to teach you within the high profile masterclass, we practice what we desire within this work so much energetically before we actually get to the goal, that when we get to the goal, it's almost just like, meh, I knew it. Like I knew it. Right? And that's where we get into celebration vibes, and you celebrate the shit out of yourself anyways. But what we want to do is we want to get in a space of energetically practicing it, because that's what's going to make it happen. So many of us will actually do this thing where we say, I will feel safe when, I will feel abundant when, I will feel expansive when, I will feel ease when. And so when we do the when to ourselves, we actually prevent it from coming into our reality, because what we are doing is we are looking at cause and effect here, right? We're looking at basically saying that I will not feel a certain way until my reality changes. And you guys have been in my world long enough to know that like the way things work and the way that abundance and manifestation and all of the things work is that you feel the feeling before your reality changes. Because what we are doing is we are all perceiving what we are letting out as a frequency, right? And so we want to be really careful and watch how we're feeling in the in-between of us having the desire and us getting the desire, right? So I'm gonna look at these comments really quickly so I make sure I know where everybody's at. 20K months and ease of life. Amazing, Yvonne. 10K months with total ease. It's 100% yours. Yeah, absolutely. It can be a few different things, Isabella. I'm tapping into multiple things right now, right? I'm tapping into my 20K month. I'm tapping into having my mastermind sell out. I'm tapping into like play. I want to play more. So this has been something where I've been going out and seeing my city. I live in Colorado Springs and I've lived here my whole life, but I've started enjoying my city as a tourist, right? And being enthralled and excited about things. That's something that I really want, is adventure in my life. So yes, it can be multiple things. Absolutely. Lindsay, expanding my business is growing as an aesthetic nurse and esthetician skin specialist. Absolutely. I just quit bedside nursing after COVID. Okay, amazing. And yeah, we get to tap into more and more expansiveness, and even in that, like more abundance, right? So I'm loving all of these answers. Amazing. So now you guys are really clear on what your goals are and where you're kind of going. And I want you to tap into how it's going to feel as you get there. How do you want it to feel? Right? Because right now we're doing the inner work to get our brains on board with our bodies. Right? If we want to tap into ease, if we want to tap into 10K months, if we want to tap into 20K months, who do we want to be on the way there? This is a question that a lot of people forget to ask in learning how to do the deep integration and embodiment work, because here's the thing. If we have this goal of 20K, or we have this goal of doing this thing, or whatever our goal is, and we think about only the end feeling, we think about only how we're going to feel when we get there, then we aren't deeply integrating and embodying those feelings now. We're putting our frequency in a space of being on hold. Because here's the thing, we only have the present moment, ever, right? So this goal is way off in the distance, right? Based on our perception. This is something we want to bring into our reality. We're not there yet, right? Because if you were there yet, you would have it in your reality. It would be physically present within your reality. So right now, we're in a space of getting there. And so what our brains are going to try to do is they're going to try to hold off the emotions of where we're going until we get there. So, how do you want to feel as you get there? Right? When we really deeply integrate and tap into how we want to feel as we get there, we're tapping into a next level frequency of that desire now. Because if we only ever have the now moment, then someday doesn't actually exist outside of our minds. And so when we think about someday feeling something, we're actually putting our frequency on hold. When our frequency is on hold, and when we're saying that this is a someday thing, we actually prevent it from coming into our current reality. So, how do you guys want it to feel on the journey there? Between you having the desire and you getting to the desire. Because this is a really, really important thing to tap into. If you haven't tapped into this, then you may notice that waiting energy within your frequency, right? That, where is it? It hasn't happened yet. I don't know how to get there. When? How? This is all a signal that you are not tapping into how you want to feel on the way there. Because I'm willing to bet that none of you want to be trying hard and then get to that point where it's like, I can finally take a break. Because if you are operating in a state of heightened, like anxiety, gotta go, gotta do, gotta force, gotta push, you're gonna feel that same energy when you get to your goal. What I truly desire in my life and what my clients desire is that we integrate these feelings all the way up until the goal. Because this is the frequency of embodying it happening now. And so, ease is a big one. I want this to feel easy. I want this to feel fun. I want this to feel inspired, right? How do you want it to feel as you get there? Drop that into the comments. 20 to 30K months, I already hit 10K as soon as I quit my staff job. I love that. Of course you did, right? It's such an expansive thing. Ease, joy, and abundance, sold out one-on-one, group, and membership. Amazing, Isabella. These are all super, super beautiful. I know I'm still working on embodying this, but this has been such a huge game changer for me. 100%. I didn't know this about the brain. I'm about to blow your mind with how the brain works. We're going to get your brain on board. Mindy, a smooth process. Yes, I want the process to be just so natural. And that's the thing. When I say natural, I want it to be smooth, but I also just want it to be like fast, right? Because something that I've been working on within my brain is like, I've only been out of corporate America for like a year, and I am in a space where there is a lot of pressure on business owners and entrepreneurs to suffer in the industry, to pay their dues. We are not doing that, right? I have decided that this gets to be easy for me, that I get to collapse time, that I get to quantum jump, that I get to scare the shit out of everybody around me because I'm expanding so fast. You get to set those rules for yourself as well, right? I don't want this to follow a logical sequence. I don't want it to be A, B, C, D. I want to go from A to Z right now. And you get to desire that, right? And it gets to feel easy and fun. Easy and fun. I want it to feel like a celebration of my life and femininity. That is so beautiful. Absolutely. That's something that I really recommend, is like being in your body, being in your feminine. And this is something that I deeply integrate throughout my days to get myself out of that space where my mind is like, gotta think of the goal, gotta think of the goal. I'm like, no, like, look at the flowers, look at the sun. Let's slow down. Let's enjoy things, because that's the energy of being there, right? 100% in alignment. Fun. I want that fun in every aspect of my life. Literally. Rachel, I've had such a flip in my brain from being in go mode in my business and just enjoying the last month of pregnancy and still making money. Stepping into that reality. Yeah, 100%. And you being a manifester, like, that's how you're meant to operate. So you're setting up the systems within the way you work within your mindset and your frequency and your energy to still make you money and tap into that ease while you're pregnant, right? It's so beautiful. Exactly. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, cool. So now you guys are tapping into how you want it to feel, how you want it to feel on the way there. So something about our bodies and our intuition is that as we start to tap into these desires and we start to feel the feelings of getting there within our body, we know that these desires are from our souls, right? These desires are not things that have come from our brain. Because here's the thing, you're going to struggle to tap into the feelings you're going to feel when you get there if this is a desire based on ego. If this is a desire based on what other people are doing, based on what you should be doing, based on what you should want to be doing, right? So if you had trouble tapping into the feelings of what it's like to get there, ask yourself, did this desire come from my soul, or is this something where I'm trying to prove myself? Where I'm trying to be in my ego and show that I can do this, where I'm trying to hit the goal that everybody else is hitting, where it's not your actual deep and true desire, right? I've had my clients tap into their next level desires. One of my clients was desiring 5K per month, and that wasn't the true desire. That was a desire based on logic. And it didn't have her feeling lit up. It didn't have her feeling in her body. It didn't have her feeling excited. What we did is we went, where did this come from? Because you're not feeling the feelings of the 5K month. If this was truly from your desires, you'd feel tapped in. So let's go into what you actually want, what you actually desire. Her number? 11K. 11K was the number, right? Because if she's making 11K months, she feels deeply fulfilled in her ability to provide for her family, in her ability to have fun, in her ability to go on vacations, right? So here's the thing. Those desires that you're tapping into the feelings of, I want you to see those as your intuition. A lot of people have themselves separated from this thing called intuition, where it's like, all of these other entrepreneurs are getting downloads, and I don't even know what a download is. I mean, I get ideas, but I don't know if it's a divine guidance. Like, where's my intuition? Where's the intuitive hits from my spirit guides that I'm supposed to launch a program or a masterclass? Here's the thing. Those are their desires. Your desires are your intuition. Right? Our desires are our intuition. And if you start to see your desires as your intuition, then that helps to clear the doubts that this is just something you want that you can't have. Because honestly, that conditioning comes from society, right? It's like so many times we're told, you can't do that. It won't work that way. What, you think you're special? No, pay your dues. You have to do this logically. Go to college, get a job. Oh, you have to work your way up. You can't just jump all the way up right now. And so what we've been taught to do is pull our desires from a logical place. So what's the desire that actually lights your soul up? And then can you tap into the fact that that version of you exists? Maybe on a different timeline. But if you can imagine it and you have that desire, it is meant for you. And this goes into a big piece because as you guys are starting to align to your profile and as we go into the Heart Center tomorrow, we're thinking about our big desires here, right? We're thinking about the desire of 20K months. We're thinking about the desire of 10K months. We're thinking about the desire of a fully sold out mastermind or fully booked one-on-one. And what can happen is within having that desire, we can shut off the fact that all desires are our intuition. All desires are leading us along the path to our bigger desires. And so, what I see so many people do is they go like this. And they put the blinders on, right? They put their blinders on and they're out of tune with what their body actually desires, and they've gone back up to their mind. You can't be in your authority when you're up in your mind, right? So what we have to realize is that all desires are leading on the path to our big desires. So that desire to take a nap, that desire to go on a walk, that desire to say no to a client, that desire to not do anything for a day, that desire to launch a masterclass and only announce it 2 days before it starts, all desires are leading on the path to your big desires. And so what I want you to do is to really trust your desires as intuition, right? So now we've got these two pieces. We are bringing in the feeling of the thing happening now, right? So how are you going to feel when you get there? Because you're going to bring that feeling in along the way between when you get the desire and when you achieve the desire, right? So if I'm going to feel abundance here, how can I feel abundance along the way? If I'm going to feel super, super safe at 20K months, how can I tap into the feelings of safety now? How can I tap into the feelings of abundance now? And then the second piece is how can I trust that each desire is leading me there? How can I keep myself from putting my blinders up and getting stuck in my head and actually staying in my body? Right? This is going to be so, so, so important, is really getting in tune with what your body desires. And now we're starting to get the mind on board. So I'm going to catch up on all of these comments. I want it to be truly mind-blowingly joyous every step of the way. Same. I love the mind-blowing. I love the mind-blowing. And this is so much fun because when I really started integrating this work within tapping into my sacral, I had a failed launch in December, right? And this was totally led from logic and misalignment and all of those things. My next launch, I failed it completely. And it was so incredible because it was my first ever human design program. Sold out because I listened to my intuition. I had people messaging me during that launch and saying what are you doing? What's with your energy? How did you do that? Even in the program, people were like, you were just so magnetic, I had to sign up. I had people signing up after the program started. This is what I want for you. So you have to listen to those desires along the way. I want it to feel relaxing, fun, easy, and exciting as well. All of those things, right? And so it's like, how can we bring that feeling of relaxation in right now? That feeling of fun in right now, that ease and excitement, right? How can we bring those into your reality right now? And then keep yourself from putting up the blinders of like, it's only about the 10K month, or it's only about the 20K month, and go into a space of like, it's about the 10K month, and I want to nap right now, and I want to go drink water, and I want to go hang out at the park, and oh my gosh, this amazing piece of content just came through me. That's the vibe. I'm going outside with my babies right now. Have so much fun, Melissa. I love that. This is something I struggle with sometimes, trusting the desires. Absolutely. And here's the thing, and I'm going to go right into the brain training after this, and you guys are going to be like mind blown at how this actually works. But basically, like, when we trust our desires, our fears will come up around rest. Our fears will come up around ease. This is deep, deep conditioning within our society. The way we've been conditioned is work hard to make money. If you're sitting around and following your desires, you're lazy. If you're not doing something, nothing's gonna happen, right? And we wanna get ourselves into the place where our energy is doing the work for us, right? Where our energy is doing the work for us. And this is something that will come up, right? When it's time to take a nap, instead of doing the things that you like know you need to do, like the laundry and the dishes and the cleaning of the house and the taking care of the cat. I have a cat. Sometimes, cat's always fed, but sometimes it needs played with, and I need to take a nap first, right? And so we'll have to work through that. And so I'm going to talk about like forming new neural pathways as the third step of today. And then tomorrow, this is going to really, really support you in the work that you're going to be doing with your will center, which I'm so excited about. Yes, I love that. Amazing. Continuing to work on trust by trying to follow all of the little desires. Yes, 100%. And this is something I'm working so much with my one-on-one clients with, is they are really starting to tap into trusting their desires. We like every single day, I do very specific mindset work that I have my clients do, and this actually rewires our neural pathways. And then they're able to get into a deeper place of embodiment within their human design, within like the actual work that they're doing, where it feels really good, right? This is so, so important. So how do we trust when our energy is what is doing the work, when it feels like the conditioning is taking over in the moment? In the moment, I always step back, right? Let me know what your human design type is. Let me know what your human design type is, because I can give you a little bit more guidance within that. But in the moment when that conditioning comes up, that is when we started to spin out in our mind. And here's the thing about dropping into your body. A lot of people really, really overcomplicate this. They really overcomplicate it. It's like, drop into your body, do all these things. This is as simple as awareness, right? When you're aware that you're spinning out, and you can go into a focus on your stomach. How's your stomach feeling? Oh, there's a toy over there that the cat is gonna lose it on. A manifester. Okay, amazing. So yeah, being a manifester, this conditioning runs very, very deep. So dropping into your body. What do I desire in this moment? And then being a manifester, you're really going to have to lean into trusting the ebb and flow. Because when you are in flow, it is going to be like boom, 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 boom. That's how it is for manifestors. And then what will happen is there will be conditioning that comes up where it's like, you expect it to always be like this, right? Because it's just like that right now. But the truth of the matter is that manifestors use a lot of energy in that bit of inspiration, in those sprints, right? And you need to rest to get another one. I want you to see your rest as highly productive. As a manifestor, absolutely. And this applies in different ways to all human design types. So when you honor your desire for rest, the conditioning may come up, but you get to tap back into, and I'm going to talk about how the brain works and how you can continue to do this. You get to tap back into the truth that when you rest, you allow your channel to clear. So you can get the next download. So you can get the next bit of inspiration, right? And society has conditioned us to sprint, 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 sprint. And as a manifestor, I'm sure you felt that feeling of like burnout. So many manifestors feel burnt out because they're told that they have to be on all the time, right? So how can you tap into my rest is productive and the inspiration always comes? Because it always does. It always comes. I love that and feel that. I don't ever feel productive when I rest, but I love that shift so much. Yeah, my clients have this saying with me where it's like, my fun, me playing makes me more money, right? When I play, the more fun I have, the more money I make. There it is. That is what we say. The more rest I get, the more money I make. It always comes back. Yeah. And that's the thing within the burnout. Like, if we deeply, deeply start to trust our bodies, like, we know that we're never going to go into burnout, right? You're going to have the tools to not go into burnout when you know how to drop from your mind into your body, right? And so I've talked about the now moment. Now we're going to go into how the brain works, and then we're going to kind of tie all three pieces together so you guys are really, really ready for tomorrow, right? So your brain doesn't know the difference between someday and now, right? Because we've only ever got the now moment. That's what we've talked about. We have to bring the feelings of the desire into the now moment. The reason for that is because the brain doesn't know the difference. Have you guys ever been daydreaming and like literally everything fades away and you're just like in your mind replaying a story? That happens to me all the time. I'm like driving and I'm like, how did I get here? Was that light red? I'm not sure. Did I take a wrong turn? Did I signal to get over? How did I get here? Because I've been so in my daydreams, right? I know this happens to you guys. Tell me I'm not the only one. But basically, what happens is when we remember something that's happened to us, we produce the same chemicals within our brain as if that event is happening now, right? Sometimes my brain's like, let's think about an old boss that we didn't like. And if I'm not being super aware, I'm like driving and I'm like, oh, I didn't like that. I didn't like how they did that. I'm like, whoa, why do I feel this way? My brain literally produced the chemicals as if I was living in that event at that moment. And we get to use this to our advantage. I'm going to tell you guys how. I love that shift around money. So good. I want to feel gentle, nourished, and sensual. Ah, I love that. I love that, Isabella, so, so much. Sensuality is something I've been tapping into my brand, like behind the scenes. And let me tell you, that energy is so magnetic because you're so present in the moment. You're so present in your body and you get to like, I swear, like sensual is just an energy. It's just an energy and it's so, so powerful. Yeah, that's sure. I forgot about that. Yes, huge daydreamer here. Yeah, so that happens. So we get to now use this to our advantage, right? Because if we can produce the same chemicals from an event that happened years ago, we also have the ability to produce the same chemicals for an event that has not yet happened. This is crazy, right? And our brains are going to want to go like, oh, that's not possible because I haven't experienced it yet. But you guys already have. You guys have done that in the comments already. You guys have tapped into how it's going to feel when you get the desire. You already did this. And here's the thing. I want you to understand that this is a practice, right? I have my clients practice these things every single day. We have techniques, we have tools, because what happens is when you are trying to change, I have cat hair in my nose. When you are trying to change the way your brain thinks, oftentimes what we will do is we'll go, I'm trying to think a new thought, but I don't feel it and it doesn't feel real. This is because we are working on forming a new neural pathway within our brains. Why does the brain go to the negative events? Our brain goes to the negative events because there's a charge there, right? You don't remember probably what you ate for breakfast a week ago, but you'll remember that movie that made you cry, right? You'll also remember celebrations. This is why celebration is such an important piece of what I do with my clients, because if you don't anchor in to a moment with emotion, that moment it fades away, right? Emotion is how we anchor in time. And so oftentimes, we've got a charge around a certain event that's typically negative because a lot of us are starting to tap into the energy of celebration, but it has to be an emotional thing. We have to feel it in our bodies or we're not going to remember. I don't remember what I wore a week ago, but I remember fights I've had with my fiance, right? That's why our brains go there, because we've literally released chemicals and we've have an emotionally charged event time-stamped in history. And so what we're doing now is we're time-stamping the good events before they even happen. So within neural pathways, what happens is when you think the same thought over and over and over and over again, you've paved a road, right? It's like we're walking on a trail and we think the thought again. We're walking on that trail. Suddenly the grass is starting to die where we walk. We keep walking. It turns into a dirt path. We have paved a road. And so it's easy for us to go into a space of, this isn't working for me. She's better at it. I don't know enough. I have to work hard for my desires. That's a huge one. Resting means I don't get as much done. I have to people please to be safe. That was a huge one for me. Hard work equals money. And so that's why I need you guys to know that this is a practice, right? And your brain is going to want to stay on that same neural pathway because it's automatic at this point. You've got the paved road. It's so easy for you to walk that way. So what happens when you decide to say, instead of hard work makes me money, or I have to work hard to make money, and instead start to go into, I get to make money in ease. You are literally going off of the pavement and walking through the grass again. And there's rocks in the way, and there might be trees and bushes in the way. And this is why it is a practice, right? So the biggest thing, the third piece that you need is an awareness. Awareness of how you're feeling and how you're thinking. And this has to be a soft awareness, right? We don't want to be like, oh, bad Christy, you were thinking about how hard work equals money again. Oh, bad Christy, you were trying to not rest and instead do your work. It's like, no, I feel that and I see that and I honor that piece of me, but also I want to pave my road over here. And so you become practiced in a new thought and you walk it over and over and over again. And so we keep walking on the grass and we've cleared some rocks. Then the bushes go. Then the trees go. Then it's this nice dirt path. And then we pave it. And we consciously choose to stop practicing a neural pathway and reinforcing that in our mind. And instead we choose to take the path of the new thoughts that we are working on creating. It's important for you to know that it's not like this all the time. Sometimes we do get to have shifts like that. But also, this is a practice. And so, within knowing that it's a practice and that you are forming a new neural pathway, you get to tap into, back to step one, the vibe of how it's going to feel when you get there in the present moment over and over and over and over again. Right? So, I'd love to know, what is the thing that came up for you? What is the new road that you are paving in this moment to get to your goal? For me, it's 20K months are easy and people love to pay me. What is the new path that you are paving? Practice it here in the comments. Practice starting to form that new neural pathway. And here's the thing about that new neural pathway. You want to feel it. Even if it feels like you're faking it in the beginning, it will get stronger. Right? Like I said, this is something we got to do over and over and over again. We don't just take this path and all of a sudden this is paved. We got to walk it over and over. Clearing the grass, clearing the rocks, clearing the bushes. And all along the while, I get to tap into 20K months are easy. And people love to pay me. So now what I'm doing in my experience is every time somebody pays me, oh my gosh, that was so easy. Life feels so easy today. It's a Friday morning and I'm teaching a masterclass and I have a mastermind after this and then I'm going to go shopping with a friend. This feels so easy. My brain goes, does it get to be this easy? Yeah. Because I know my desires are my intuition. Does that make sense? So what is the road that you are paving? And how can you bring feeling into that now? I've definitely really been self-judging on my path to self-awareness. I try to remember to be gentle with myself and have gratitude for where I am, no matter what, 100%. And this is one of the biggest blocks I see to people hitting that like next level is like, it's like exercise, right? It's like when you try to force yourself to go to the gym every single day, do you feel good? Do you feel like crap? Like I feel like crap when I try to force myself to go to the gym every day. I'm like, dang it, you failed, you missed today, like that. But what if I create the rule for myself, like, I love to feel the vitality of my body and I go to the gym most days. Then there's not a standard of perfection. There's a desire to feel vitality in my body, but also I'm allowed to skip, right? So I'm approaching it from a desire-based place instead of slap on the wrist place. That will change your experience. I love that. Standing up for myself, not because I feel the need to prove myself, but because I'm unafraid to be unapologetically me, no matter how weird or scary it might seem at first. Absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, it's one of those things where it's like we get to feel the fear in our body and we get to move anyway because we've tapped into our authority and we know that that's the right next step for us, even if the desire feels yucky, right? I make 10K plus with ease. People who love and buy my artwork keep finding me and coming into my world. That is such a beautiful rule. That is a beautiful paved path that we get to create, right? And we get to keep tapping into it. And so you guys are going to start forming these new neural pathways. And so as we get into tomorrow, what we're really going to be talking about is that will center and how to bring that in and start to apply these thoughts and these beliefs to our selling, to our work, to what we believe about our audience size, to what we believe about what people are willing and wanting to pay us, which is freaking exciting. And I'm so, so excited. So yes, keep dropping your paved paths below. I want you guys to really, really commit to like creating that paved path. What new neural pathways are you going to form? What are you dedicated to feeling in your body as you do these new neural pathways? And so as you guys are dropping them in, I will see you guys tomorrow for day 2. This was absolutely phenomenal. Really think about where you're paving that path. So I'm changing mine to a more aligned path, speaking my truth in ease because I love myself so much. And nothing feels scary about being myself. Literally. That is the energy, right? We get to be paid for being ourselves. We get to be safe in being ourselves. People love us for being ourselves. So I love you all so, so much. If you are catching the replay, let me know in the comments. Follow along with all of the questions. And we are going tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. You guys are going to have so, so much fun with the stuff that we're doing tomorrow in tapping into that will center, tapping out of the lower frequencies of it. And I'm just so excited. And if anybody's interested in the mastermind, we start on August 11th. So it is upcoming. It is here. I'm so excited. I will see you all later. Thank you, Isabella, for being here. Thank you, Melissa, for being here. Anybody else who was live, I appreciate you taking your time out of your day to do this work for yourself, right? You guys are such powerful women who are dedicated to your growth. I see you, I honor you, I love you, and have an incredible Friday. Bye.